Should I?
Yeah.
So, and we are back. We are back with another episode. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And we have another special guest today, Emily.
Hey! It's so lovely to have you. Like, you've been someone that I personally didn't know, but I knew through Sash. And I've just seen you just like blossom. Every time I see you, you're just one of those people that you're like, you're just so lovely.
Oh, aren't you?
Thanks,
Emily.
guys.
Emily's from the day that I met Emily. I've known Emily for a good
few years
now. We worked together. We became very good friends. And from the first day that I met you, you were just always this.
I'll never forget that.
Right?
Day.
This is always like that, smiling.
Oh no, I was really smiling then. I remember you came up to me and went, you're having a bad day, but I was smiling.
Yeah.
I was like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Emily. For what?
Not even to like be that person and like put you in it, but even today, she's still smiling at TikTok. But she's coming, she's like, I'm just feeling so. She's emotional, but she's like the most happiest emotional person I've ever seen. So like,
I'm feeling emotional.
So down today, guys, a massive smile.
I mean, if you're gonna learn anything, learn to be like this kind of human. I feel like you're one of those people. I don't know. Do you get it a lot that people just always say like, I warm to you and like you make people happy and stuff? Yeah, you're just one of those souls. Like, so Emily's one of our hub members as well. And I feel that most people, whenever they've you've been in a breakout room with them or like you've spoken with them individually, they're always like, oh my God, Emily, just help me, and Emily did this, and Emily, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're just, talk to us about like just people person or how you are with people.
I'm a massive people person, but I'm an only child, so I had to break out and make my own friends because I was in the house, so I'd never have any. That sounded a bit...
No.
So I've always been a massive people person, and then young age started dancing, and that's very sociable and a hard environment to sort of grow up in socially.
It's like bubbly but hard. Like you're kind of forced to be in this like eccentric lifestyle, but then also like dealing with many insecurities that it comes with. So it's like a
learning who's real, who's being really honest about that industry.
I can imagine that. I was gonna say both our industries, the dance and beauty industry, must be the most.
Very... But if I want to describe it anyway, it's like
I think beauty. I can't talk about the dance industry anymore, but the beauty industry I think is very much changing. It's starting to be more empowerment.
It is, but not from. But from when I personally started to today, it wasn't as empowering. I completely agree with
when I started,
saying.
it wasn't as empowering either.
Yeah.
It was very much sort of that beauty hall vibe. You know when someone used to work in a beauty hall? I work in beauty.
She works in beauty. If you guys don't know,
I'm a business manager for. Can I say the brand, or should I just say?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, business manager for Charlotte Tilbury. So I love the brand. I love everything that the brand embodies. I love my job. I love my team. And I love what my job entails, which is like supporting the team, guiding the team, progressing the team, and just...
And having such, the job that you have, being in the industry, being in the beauty industry as well, knowing that, there's a lot of responsibilities that come with it, and there's a lot of pressure with your job, and I know you're smiling. I know you got that smile, but I also know that there's a lot of pressure. How did you feel? Because you joined the hub with us 2 months ago, and I remember you telling me you felt like you were a bit kind of like a going through lockdown as well. You came to a bit of a standstill.
I feel like with any job where, especially in retail, where you become any retail, not even necessarily beauty, where you become a business manager, the next step up is like area manager. Area managers don't go nowhere. So once you've hit business manager, you're waiting a long time to progress to the next level. I've always progressed quite quickly, and I felt like I was like, right, I'm here in my career now. I've been wanting this position in my company, on my counter, since the day I started as the position that I came in at. And now I'm here. What I did, a massive thing that I've learned as well is to appreciate where I am now.
Of course.
Because I've wanted this for so long, but then as soon as I got there, I was like...
You start thinking, I know, and it's just that... I used to think the word content was bad. Like, I don't want to be content, I want more. And actually, contentment has been something that's got me through lockdown, because again, we can't constantly be thinking ahead when we're just kind of forced to be where we're at.
Yeah.
So it's just learning to be like okay with this, and like I can want more, but this is very much, you know, like I started doing it the other day with my house. I was like, I can't wait one day when I have a house and I want like a pool, and I was like, bitch, you just moved into your house. I was like, calm the fuck down. And I love my house, but you know when you just think, just it's okay to just settle that kind of driver, like ooh yeah person, and be like, this is good, I'm happy, I wanted this, let me appreciate this.
And like I really wanted my job, and I'm very lucky. I know a lot of people have been put on furlough and lost jobs and things in such a tough time, but I got my promotion just after last lockdown.
Wow.
So
that's lovely.
That's a big high to come out of such a tough time, and I was like, I've done it. Already coming into another lockdown, I've been like, I now need to work towards the next step. But actually, I haven't even really worked in my new role because I spent most of my year in my flat. But like we all have. But I just need to realise, like, I've worked hard to get where I am, and I've just taken like a step to like breathe into that moment. But off the back of what you were saying, Sash, like I felt like I come to a standstill. I feel like I've got so much more that I want to do, that I can give. And I'm one of those people that have like ideas, and I'm passionate about things. So my passion, like skincare, and I love it so much. I can talk about it for hours, and I'm like, oh, let me tell you about acids. The good kind, guys. The good kind. And I'm like, I've wanted to start like YouTube for ages, for years. And when I say years, I mean years. But the industry is like it's saturated. It is saturated. But you know, when you're like, I know I've got something else that I can give, but then little things come into age.
Right, there's Ash. You want a bit of drink?
No, but you're both able to relate when you see like 12-year-olds starting these days, and 17-year-olds, and I'm 29-year-old, which in no means is old. But
thank you.
It's not. But I never mean like, age is in like I feel old. I don't feel old.
But can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
This is where I have to stop you and ask a question, just because I feel like I hear this quite a few times, and with someone being a few years older, a couple of years older, why do you feel like your age defines you, or why do you feel like your age stops you? Don't you feel, just from my point of view, I feel like, for example, I started taking acting lessons 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, anyone would have thought like, why are you starting at the age of in your late 30s? However, I feel like I've got so much more experience of the people that I am actually in class with, so I have more to give. Same with you are on camera, you're on YouTube, like, you know, it's a camera, so when you're talking to a camera versus when a 12-year-old, as you say, or a 15 or even a 20-year-old speaking towards camera, they don't have that natural aura, that natural energy of experience necessarily. And I completely understand from some perspective why you're saying age can come into it, but I have to disagree with it, because I feel like your age is, and your experience now is what gives you even more confidence and more to talk about than if you were 20.
Massively. And one thing that I've, like, just as an I said outsider in the hub, but just watching, so how we kind of work in the hub, we'll have like daily chats and stuff and bits of inspiration and stuff, but we have a channel and we have like loads of different conversations, Bitcoin, beauty, fitness, whatever else, and like Emily, and I'm not in a, like a, Emily's like bossing most pages, but like she's definitely in all the pages, and people like look to you, and I think that is because of that experience. Like there are a lot of young members, and I think, you know, everyone holds their own in the hub anyway, but I think a lot of people look to you and go, oh yes, you know, she said that about this product the other day. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. Like, like, and I think just your experience within the industry alone, you just kind of not believe in it more. And that's also not to discourage anyone who wants to start at a younger age either. But for myself, even in the dance industry, I just sometimes want people to just like take their time because I'm like, actually what you know at this age versus that, you know, it does help. It does play a massive factor. So I'm like, girl, pick up yourself, because if you start now, you're gonna just you've got all of that.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not my personal thoughts about my age in myself, if that makes sense. It's looking at, and you should, and like, it's another thing. I can preach it to other people. Like, don't compare yourself to other people. Don't. And like, when you told me you started acting lessons, I was like, yes, Sasha, like, get it. But as soon as it comes to yourself, it's that old age thing of, like, practice what you preach. Like, I can tell everyone to go out and do their thing, but as soon as it comes to me, I'm like, oh, but that person's 20 years old and they've started doing YouTube and they're really successful, and then it's building a following. It's all those things that come with social media that you feel like...
There's a whole world that's like revolved around it, and even myself, who I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of social, I'm like, there's so much I have no idea about, and yet you're right, there are people, because let's be real, when we was growing up at 15, 16, that wasn't an opportunity. I mean,
we didn't even have
so
Instagram.
You know, it's just different. It's just different to what we grew up around. You know,
Different
maybe
era.
we'll have a different understanding of work ethic, and I don't mean that again in a patronising way, but we had to go out and graft and do those kind of physical things or jobs, versus people who are able to learn so much more online now and even monetize things online. So.
But that's also having the best of both worlds. You know, I'm so grateful that I didn't have social media to grow up with, but then I have it. You know, I understand it now, not as you say to that extent, but you know, being able to having not had that, and now having social and being in the world, you can play with, you know, the best of both worlds in it. Whereas people who are 20, which is, as CJ just said, it's great. We encourage everyone to start whatever you want at any age. But you know, when you are 20, if that's all you know, you don't know anything else. Yeah. You know? Quickly, not quickly, but not quickly, I'm like quickly. But just on the note of age and experience and whatnot, you being in the hub, and you know, talking to women with different ages and different experiences, how have you found that, like, helping you in, you know, when you're giving advice to them about what, you know, your skincare, what CJ just said as well? How's that helped you? I feel like you'll know from being on counter anyway, you can have someone that is 18 years old or 80 years old come in, so talking to people of different ages, different backgrounds, everything like that, it's been something that I've done for so long, and I'm actually comfortable that I love knowing about different people from different walks of life. Like, I can listen to someone that's 80 tell me about growing up in like world wars and stuff like that, and I love it, and I think, wow, you've seen something that I will never see. And then even having someone that's like 18, 19, 20 that's got a different outlook to me, even though there's only maybe like 8-9 years in difference. Like the first breakout group we had, I was with an 18-year-old, just us two. It was just two of us in a breakout group on Zoom technology.
It's really cool. I only learned about it a little while ago, but basically, it's so on Zoom, and I know a lot of us have been on Zoom, but you can like organise. So myself and Sasha, obviously the host for InSense, but we organise each week. We have catch-up calls. And so anyone who's available on that night comes in. So let's just say that there was 20 of us. We just organise different rooms, and it literally, Zoom just goes and everyone goes off into their own separate rooms, and we'll have a point of conversation. Let's just say our task for the week is, like, this week is date yourself. It will be like, right, go and speak to your group about what you're going to do this week that's going to be for you, and how you're going to help each other stay accountable, like what tools and whatnot. And it's so cool. And then like everyone goes off for a few minutes and whatnot, then we bring everyone back, we ask everyone to share, and that for me was the idea of actually networking, because I say networking, sometimes it's also just having that extra, we said it yesterday on the chat, sometimes it's nice to speak to strangers, and I know that you guys aren't strangers, and there's a sense of like that bond. Community, because it's over like-minded stuff, but there's this idea of, you know, when you speak to your best friends, they know so much about you that sometimes you do end up filtering what you want to say, because you already have this idea of not being judged by them, but them knowing exactly what you know. So sometimes to go and speak to someone that's completely no one to you, it's just what you can just say it how it is, and just experience whatever you take from that moment. And it's just so nice to just allow, like you say, someone that's probably from a different complete walk of life, who is in a different industry, whatever else, just to go, oh shit, I've got to go and speak to someone in a breakout room for 10 minutes. We're always like, guys, just do it. Just like open up, just say some shit. And it's just nice to see you guys kind of, bond in that, I don't know what the word is, but like,
it's become
just
like
neutral way,
and it's really nice because, you know, seeing two strangers, but now some of them, like, you know, talking yesterday, it's like they've become like family.
Yeah.
In such a short space of time.
I've spoken with a few of the girls.
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure you've formed
I've got some really great relationships in the hub, and they, like, even if it started over from a conversation with skincare, because I found a lot of people were
interested in skincare.
I think lockdown as well. Everyone was like, my skin needs this, and I was like, I'm happy to do like one-on-one conversations so everyone feels like they've got a bit of time. Also lockdown, I'm not doing nothing. So
but we even said, myself and Sasha was like, oh my god, it would be great for Emily to come and do some talks about, you know, skincare and routines that you do, and this is the whole point of introducing our people to our new people, and then new people coming in, and then just have, and there'll be so many different tons of conversations. Again, I know that you lead like the Bitcoin talk sometimes, and you're getting people to watch these kind of videos, and it's so empowering just watching everyone in their own niches just bring, you know, different
I
things.
feel like ideas are born. Ideas have been born with a lot of people.
Well, even come on, let's be real. You said I want to do the YouTube stuff, and then straight away you was doing like little videos and stuff, and you was trying stuff. Like, come on, girl, we're here. We're supporting it.
We've been undercoverly pushing you, Emily, like that little nod.
I see you guys.
I have like it's not even a question, but it's a shift of like, okay, we're gonna go there. So, it's really nice to have you here today, because I feel like, you know, often when we think about like people that we might want to have, it's like people that are like just very, very strong on either like mental health and wellness and this and that, and like have a very good idea of that.
Yeah.
I feel like with you, you're still really unraveling in it and enjoying that process of finding it, and I just think it's magical to speak to someone who's like right in the middle of, like you said a minute ago, like, you know, I'm so here for cheering everyone else on, but sometimes I'm having to understand myself. How do you feel like, again, because I had some privates of you a few years ago, and you just seem so much more confident in yourself now, but how has that journey been for you over, I don't know, you could call it years, months, whatever that transition has been? How are you finding it then and with where you're at now? Like,
I think there's a lot of things personally that went on in my life, and a lot of things professionally that I was battling a lot. And then it was actually when we first met, and then you said you started doing like heels class. You started doing heels classes, and because we started talking, I was like, oh, I used to dance, and I have beaten myself up about this for years and years, and I had a dancer's mum. Love my mum, love Mum Z, but she was very much a dancer's mum, like. And when I got my injury, my mum and dad also split up, and I lived with my dad, and I felt like that I'd let my mum down. So with that, when I said come to a class with you, I have never compared myself so much to a room of people being like, in my head, you still have to be the best. You still... And now I have fully come away from that mentality in every aspect of my life, which doesn't sound like it when I can't come in front of a camera and start using it.
No, but it takes a different kind of like confidence sometimes. It's, you know.
And then when I moved to West London, I went to a couple of teens classes as well, which were great. And I just had fun.
Do you know what's really funny? And I'm really glad you said that, because it's so easy for us, and even me and you, Sash, to say, it's a safe space, it's a safe space, which it is. But sometimes if you come into a class or anything, I don't know, whatever's out there, and you hear people say it's a safe space, I would say trust them. I don't know. I hope that everyone holds that space for people. But understand that it's not as easy when you're fighting yourself and what you're going through. And I sometimes have to remember that even though I've got that heart that wants to fucking give, that if people are stepping in with that
energy,
oh my gosh, I need to do this and I have to be this, and like that can be exhausting enough in itself. So then put on the choreography you've got to do, and then this, and then walks, like you're like, and it's like anxiety, pressure, and I'm sure some people might even feel that with the hub, like I'm scared of speaking in public, and I'm scared of, and actually because someone like me and you are so like open and, you know, it seems so easy to say, but actually it's just remembering that everyone's going through their personal thing, and it takes that time. Like you said, you just allowed yourself to have fun. I don't know how many classes that took, but something in yourself just went, I trust me now. Do you know what I mean? And from an outsider, I even got to see that, and I didn't know you that well, but it was so nice to see. I remember one time just seeing you sob. I think it was International Women's Day. And just seeing you sob, and I don't know, I feel like whatever that was, you left it in the room that day. And I feel like anything after that, you was like, yeah, this is me. I don't know, that was
actually, that day I had, that was probably the first day when it came to my dance class, I had fun, like just fun. And then afterwards, that talk, let's not, because I'm on the brink today, guys, of hormones. But that was a really, really special day for me to voice about a situation that I hadn't spoken out openly about before. And I felt so safe.
I feel like you released that day, didn't you? It's like it was built up within you. Obviously, I knew about the situation, and it was built up within you. And you know, you don't to sit in a room full of strangers. But again, that's how you know you're in that safe space, right? Because
I think also, sorry.
No.
Hearing. So, do you want me to talk? Should I say the situation?
Yeah.
Sexually assaulted, and to hear so many other women that had been so strong, that had been through the same thing. It was
comforting.
Yeah,
it's comforting.
Not that I would ever
you're
want anyone to go through that, but it was comforting knowing
you're not the only person that had gone through that.
And also, like, just.
And I guess even having that space for like your voice again, because if you feel like someone's kind of like taken that, I mean, from your voice or even physically, and I remember you saying that with dance, you felt really detached, you know, you didn't feel in your body. I remember having those conversations with you. I feel like to kind of be in a space where you go, oh my gosh, and her, and your voice kind of, it's like
it comes out.
We're not hiding from this anymore. We're going to speak about this openly. And I guess my question from that then, how have you been able to deal? Because I know so many people will have different things. Some people will go to therapy. Some people will not speak about it. How have you felt that that's impacted you since? Because obviously it was amazing that you was able to release that day, but do you feel like there's days where it takes you, or do you feel like actually I've learned to use this in an empowering situation? How do you find taking something as an experience and then, you know, moving forward?
I had therapy, and the hardest part of that whole situation for me was I went to the police.
Right.
And I might get the percentages mixed up now, but only 15% of 5%, sorry, of sexual assaults are reported to the police, and only 1% of those go to court.
Wow.
So it got
left. Did it looked at?
No, it got looked at, but just if they can't say to you when you go to court, it's going to be 100% in your favour.
Right.
Or if they don't think it's going to be, they worded it like if. We don't want to put you through the emotional.
Right.
If the jury can go one way or the other, etc. So I understood, and that was the hardest part. But they, the police work with these people with the NHS. I can't remember what they're called now, not angels or something like that, but something.
Right.
And I carried on having therapy.
Okay.
So I talked about it, but you know, like I don't need to talk about this anymore. Like I'm very much with it. I know it's happened.
Right. You've accepted it.
I've accepted it, and. My family, like my mum and dad, dad doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't want to think about it, and mum's very, so I'll take you out and we'll, and again, that's how she feels
myself
about
and
it.
Zach talk a lot about this with traditions and cultures, even just that different
generation,
genre, different genre. You know, sometimes it is that thing of, okay, let's just not talk about it.
Like she took me out for dinner. And I was like, I don't want to be outside. Really
but again, I think it's what, you know, how they don't know how to, like, with, you know, the tools that we have today versus the tools that our parents had, 30, whatever years ago. It's completely different. So, you know, it's how some parents know how to deal with it. Okay, let's go for dinner, or like your dad's like, you know, let's watch the football or whatever. It's something to like kind of block it or suppress it. But, you know, what really helps is knowing that they're there, the comfort's there, they're there. I think sometimes knowing that for me personally is enough rather than like, okay, we don't need to like, I'm quite lucky, my mum's very open and we talk about everything openly, but I know not all parents are like that.
Oh, I'm open, so they have to so they have learned to deal with it. Like, I'm open about all sorts, probably too much. And like I'm
sorry, can I just share this story, because it is nothing related to this at all, but obviously I've been moving house just because of sharing too much. And anyways, there was some handcuffs coming out of my room. Oh, I don't know, whatever. And my dad was like, whose are these? I was like, oh, they're mine. He was like, you can't admit that. And I was like, oh, I'll fucking take them. And he was like, my brother was like, Sid, you own that. So, but I think in this generation, it is like just teaching yourself to be as open with your parents as, for them to kind of meet you back. Because otherwise, we're just going to stay in that generational thing of like, oh, this is this and this is, and I don't want to be like that with my kids. I hope, one day they can trust me to, I'm saying they like I have kids, but,
future children.
Yeah, but I think it's a beautiful thing that you were content to go to therapy, whether it was helping you. Did you feel like it helped you?
I'd had therapy when I was little, when my mum and dad split up as well, and I was a rebellious child, so that's why I got my injury with dance, and I was supposed to go to like dance school and stuff, and then mum and dad split up, and I was like, well, like teenage angst, like anarchy against the world, and I just wasn't open to it then. This time around, because it was something specific, and the therapists were specifically for the situation, they were great, they were lovely, but I'd already grown so much of a person spiritually that
that's beautiful.
Therapy is like,
do you feel like
every day talking to you,
So do you have those methods? Do you feel like you have those methods in your life now that if anything it is building up, let's just say versus a couple of years ago when you maybe might have let it build up, do you feel like that you've got day-to-day things that you can use as tools to help?
Meditation a lot. Like if my brain gets busy, just take myself away, and because especially when I'm back at work as well, and I don't think I realised this until lockdown, my brain was busy a lot of the time, and when I had lockdown, it was almost all this space in my head, and I was like, oh, I need to fill this with something. I need to fill this with, and actually,
I feel like you were trying to distract.
Because my brain was empty.
Stillness.
But then I meditated one day and I was like, why, my brain is not empty? Because I realised that every time I tried to meditate, like something was coming into my head, and I was like, I didn't think I had any thoughts. Like, like when you think, I'm not at work, so I shouldn't have anything on my head. And then I was like, wow, I've got stuff I need to
delve into,
sit in, just get out. So now, even if one thing comes into my head, I'm like, oh, maybe 15 minutes to meditate, because this is a lot to do.
Yeah, I think it's great though, because some days I had that experience on Sunday, even with you, Sash, we had a wicked day, and it was like, fire, and I was like, and I want to meditate because I'm feeling good, and I just assumed that my head would be really clear, and there'll be like amazing positive thoughts, and actually it was not the opposite, but not that it was a mask either, but actually how much of it was like a heightened state of me that day. And actually when I did allow myself to just silence that state, there was still some darker things that were sitting in me, and I was like, oh, if I didn't take that time to meditate today, maybe I would have carried on with this like feeling that was probably masking some little things, disturbances inside. So I think it's a good thing whether you're happy,
meditation is a tool you should use every single day. I'm always singing that, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but it's a tool that we should use every single day. It's like praying. You shouldn't just pray or meditate when you need something, or when you want something to happen, or when you want to manifest something, whatever it is. You should do it on the good days of appreciating, and exactly what you said earlier, like, being content and happy with what we have, because we're constantly wanting that, chasing that title, wanting that other job, wanting that promotion, wanting the bigger house, wanting the pool in our house, wanting this, I want to go and do, why are we not happy with the things that we have right now, and I think, meditating, on a daily basis, or forgetting to meditate and remeditating, and just do it when you're happy as well. Don't meditate or pray
That's me to a T actually, because I bought myself a segue. It's like I bought myself a nice bag last month because it's my birthday and I bought myself a nice bag. Say it, honey. Already, we've been in lockdown. Have I used that bag? No, I've got no reason to use a bag. Already, I said to my partner the other day, I really want this, and this new bag that I've seen. He's like, please, just take time to use that one. Right. And it's already like, and I think that's very much in the generation that we're in as well, or
you just want new
not
things,
even necessarily our generation, but the younger generation. We're seeing it a lot on social media where someone might have something nice and you might have something nice, but then but now I want that thing and now I want that thing, and it's like that with, like I said, we're expected to make our career go fast.
It's like that even with relationships. You see this happy image. I want that. And it's like whatever you don't have, you're kind of thinking, I want.
Yeah.
You know? And it's always what you have. You don't realise what you have. You know. So I think it is just when you rein it back in, it's just an idea of gratitude constantly, and just constantly being, you know, I'm grateful for this space. I'm allowed to want abundance. I feel like this is a conversation that should be had anyway. It's okay to want more. It's okay to wish for good things, and you know. And I think it's having a healthy relationship with abundance, and not. I used to think the word abundance was like having it all, fucking millions. But actually, it's like no. I feel like I want enough that I can provide whatever that is for me. And everyone's version of abundance is different. But being okay with. But what I have now is absolutely amazing, and it makes me feel so whole every day, and that gives me the space to even strive for more, because I'm so grateful to see what this has already done for me and how I can help others.
I think that's when you can strive for more or want more, is when you're actually when you're happy and grateful for everything you have. And that's when I feel like, honestly, when the times I've been so content and super grateful for the smallest things, like being able to make my favourite cup of herbal tea, is when something amazing keeps coming into my life. That's when you're inviting abundance into your life 100%, without saying, I want this. You're saying, I'm happy with this. Then all of a sudden the door opens and you have the abundance of...
And it always sounds like cliche, but I just think, when I've been in a space of like, I genuinely am pissed off because I got a parking ticket or this, I'm telling you now, there's going to be another 4 things in the post coming as a bill, because I've attracted that level of
annoyance.
And I'm like, I literally deeped it the other day, I was like, if you have a car to even be getting a ticket for, you are winning, bitch. Like, if you have a house that you have to pay bills for, you are winning. If you have, we can go, if you have to pay tax because you have a job, you are winning. Like, there's so many things. Listen, if you have breath, you are winning, you are alive. Like, if you really strip it back, it's like, fuck me, we are some lucky motherfuckers. I have a question just to kind of almost round us up. Just knowing the space you've been in, what you've chose to let go of, and how you choose to kind of heal yourself day to day and go or continuously build on your journey, what would you give to the 18-year-olds that you're talking, to, whether it's in the hub or just anyone out there, or even, how you do it your YouTube channel after like a nice episode? What's your spirit of what you would love to feed back?
You're living your life. You are not living anyone else's life. What Sally's doing over there and what Simon's doing over there isn't for you to compare to, and it's not for you to think you're better than, or to think that you're not doing as well as. You're in your own lane. I know that sounds so like, stay in your lane.
No, that's beautiful.
But it's weird. I think it's weird coming from an only child as well, because I've never had anyone to compare myself to as in brothers or sisters. So I feel like I brought on my comparison, because I would look at other people and I've compared myself my whole life. And I think we all have. I think to some level we all have. But any advice to anybody is, I'm gonna so contradict myself here, and everyone's gonna be like, you should get on YouTube then. But it's not too late to start anything, and just don't spend so much of your life being consumed by comparing yourself to what other people are doing, because you don't know what it's taken in their journey to get to where they are. They might have gone through hell and back to get to where they are, whereas you might have the easiest journey. It just takes a little bit longer,
Right.
but you don't know what anyone else's journey is. So just don't compare yourself in any way. Just set your sight on what you want to achieve, do it, and then when you get there, appreciate it, whilst also thinking I can go to the next level, but always appreciating where you are and how you've gotten there, because you don't want to live your life too fast as well, wishing for something and never appreciating what you had in the moment. So yeah, that's probably the two things I'd
Love
say.
that, Emily.
I've got one more. One goal for this year.
Yes.
And we already been like, come on, YouTube channel. But one goal for you, even if it's to do with just you and your emotion, or I don't know, or if it is a goal, like what's that one thing? Because it's on camera now. Like
they gonna see it.
This shit's documented, so
you're gonna have to
listen, everyone. We're gonna hold Emily accountable. How long? Okay, you set the goal. We're gonna set the time.
We'll set the time. You tell us the goal. We're setting the time.
God, I feel like this is the roles reversed. This is what I do to people. Like, what do you want to achieve?
Here we go.
Okay, so
Think about this one.
I'm gonna do two.
Okay. She's doing two. She's doing two.
I'm doing this to myself. Why? First one. Whether it's YouTube or because this isn't a cop out. I have been thinking recently, like there's IGTV and stuff like that, and things like that are popping as well. Who do I think I am? So be regularly creating content of one of those sorts
of a televised
of a video form.
Recording content. Yes. Two.
You wanted a date, didn't you?
No, we're giving you the date.
No, I think like realistically, what's your time frame?
Yeah.
Realistically, we're still in lockdown. This is the most time I'm ever going to get.
Exactly.
So.
Okay, can I
April.
This month. Alright.
Okay, can I throw something in there on your goal?
Yeah.
So can I just say until April? That's 1 month. So I'm going to say 4 recordings within April. So 2 this month and 2 next month. That's very realistic.
Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Boo. No, it is. No, super.
Right?
Super. Yeah. And it's just actually sitting down, having the confidence, being like, you're this bitch, you can do this. And
4.
April, I'm going to set it by my birthday. April 23rd.
Boom.
She needs to have released 4 videos. You lot better keep her accountable. By April 23rd, I want you lot message it. What's your Instagram?
We're gonna. The Instagram is on there.
I need to go check out shit.
Her Instagram is popping up right now because Danny's gonna edit that. And
Imagine I just go home to delete my Instagram. I'm not going to. And my second one is I really want to. I'm super confident and I'm happy with the person I'm becoming, but I want to be just really, really so happy in myself.
Peace.
Inner peace.
And I'm not gonna do a time frame. Like I'd love to by the end of the year
and
everything like that. But just a goal is to just be like.
That can I just say that is something that's you can't put a time frame.
Yeah, you
Inner
can't.
peace is for the rest of our something that we work with till the day we die.
Yeah.
So
and we'll have disturbances along the way, like and it's but it's not. I think it's that again going back to the word contentment. I think it's that underlying thing of I'm good. Like even if I'm going through this shit right now, like I know myself. I'm good. This is just a hard time, you know.
Yeah.
Like even today, I know that there's.
Thank you for coming.
Emotions. Like I know they've got the better of us today, but like you're good.
Yeah, but it's like little things like that. Like even when, as females, you get your period.
Yes.
And like I said, like literally the first thing I said was, I've nearly just had a breakdown because I didn't want to wear anything because I felt bloated. And we all get it.
We all get this.
But then it's like little things like that being like, it's okay if you just put on a baggy top today, hon. Like it's not a big deal.
And you still look gorgeous. You still look gorgeous.
Got a pillow, my safety pillow.
It's okay. But Emily,
help with happiness.
It has been beautiful having you on here tonight.
Thanks,
I'm sure a lot of you guys have taken some real gems from Emily tonight. Thank you so much. But we're running out of time, so we gotta wrap it up. 4 videos. CJ?
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
Listen, we've got you. I'm checking on you like March 23rd. Yeah, listen. Mm-hmm.
Do you have one thing to say before we...
No, it's been great. I've loved
No.
it. Or maybe I should just do it myself then.
Exactly. Go get that YouTube on. Bye, bitches.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.